right, welcome to IT Security Labs. And today we have a really fun lab, guys. Can't wait to show you the new security onion that you're looking at here. And we'll also complete a CTF called Symfonos. So this is going to be really, really fun. We get to see the brand new security onion, which is awesome. But we'll also complete a CTF machine, capture some of the data, and see what it looks like. As you can see already here, this security onion is working properly. It's really great. Hello, Matthew. Welcome. It's good to see you, man. Let me know about the quality of the stream today. BT, good to see you guys. Thank you for stopping by tonight. I was a few minutes late, but I hope we can get this done and have a lot of fun tonight. Because I've been looking forward to today's stream for a while now. Perfect. Samit, how is it going, man? I'm just giving a few people a chance to join here. I see people are joining, and as soon as everybody's here, we can go ahead and start. All right, so as you can see, guys, I've been playing around with the new security onion. It's a really wonderful platform and I'm very impressed. So before I even start sending a bunch of data to it, let me show you the different components that comes with it, because I think a lot of people will be interested in this. And then we will actually do an analysis of our data later when we're done. But it comes with my favorite tools, Grafana and Kibana. I mean, this is what I really like to see. So I'll show you what these different interfaces do. And then, of course, we have the Hunt, the brand new Hunt interface here, which is amazing. As you can see here, we can see events in detail. This is the most exciting thing that came out of this October. And I was very, very impressed. Samit says, how was the pivot to InfoSec? It was really good. It was a lot of fun. I think they did a really good job putting the event together. It was amazing. I encourage people to stop by next year. All right, so as you can see, Security Onion comes with our Kibana interface. We can already see the events and how they are doing. Security Onion events over time. So you can see I was practicing before this live stream here. This is how many events I generated. We're going to generate these events in real time, you and I, so we can see them. It comes with my favorite tool, Grafana. I mean, I'm a big Grafana fan. As you can see here, what you cannot see behind me is the monitor traffic. Let me move myself. You have to see this. This is one of the most important one. This is the management traffic, and here's the monitor traffic up here. As you can see, our interface got a lot of traffic during this time here. So that's just me generating a bunch of traffic, and as soon as we start attacking, this is also going to go up. So that's part of our security onion tool that we have. So if you haven't played with security onion, I highly encourage you to deploy it. Then of course we have the elk stack. We also have the Hive, which is amazing. Let's open it in here. This is a live lab that I'm running on a Windows 10 machine. So this one wants me to sign in. I'll sign in later. So this is running on a Windows 10 machine in VirtualBox. So Security Onion is running in VirtualBox on a machine with 24 gigs of RAM. And this Security Onion machine is actually taking I think 14 or 16 of the 24. So it's very greedy. You need to make sure that it has enough resources. Otherwise it will be super slow and frustrating to use. All right, so with this security onion in mind, I wanted us to complete a CTF from Vulnhub. So the machine that I'll be going for is Symfonos 2 from Vulnhub. And this machine is really good for people who want to go for the OSCP, because there's two tactics that we're going to use here that are really fun. And the two tactics are SSH Tunneling, which we're going to do here, and also Just some really nice, cool tools that you can just use. I think SSH Tunneling is the highlight of today, and I'll show you what that looks like in a little bit here. So if you want to do this lab, go to vulnhub.com, download this machine. Then in order for you to set up your security onion to look like this, you just need to set up in Oracle VirtualBox. So I'm running this on a Windows 10 machine. I rarely use this machine, so you guys haven't seen it, but this is on a Windows 10 machine. As you can see, Security Onion is running here. It is 14 gigs of RAM, and it's pretty stable for me right now. I'm pretty happy with how it is working. Then I have my Symfonos and Kali Linux. Those three. That's how much it's going to do. Tectonic, welcome back, man. It's good to see you. What do you configure after installing Security Onion OS? You just make sure that Security Onion is getting the data from the sniffing interface in your Vulnhub lab. In this case, Security Onion here has two interfaces. I'll cover that, then we can start the attack here. So in my network interface here, I have one bridged adapter, which is connected to the lab network, so I can access it from the web. Then I have a host-only adapter. So my Symfonos 2 machine and Kali Linux do not have internet access because they're vulnerable machine, and they're connected to this adapter here. And then Security Onion is sniffing on this adapter. And another thing that you need to make sure to do is allow promiscuous mode so that you can get all the traffic. This is just going to act as a hub, and you're going to get a bunch of traffic here. So that's how we have it set up. So as you can see, Symfonos is running, Kali Linux is running. And I'm very excited to start the attack so that we can see what generated this traffic. And as soon as we get root on the machine, we'll spend more time looking at Security Onion again. So this is a very, very, very fun stream tonight. All right, so let's go to our Kali Linux. This is a new Kali Linux machine. It's not my normal Kali. I don't have my tools set up here, but that's okay. So we are signed into our Kali Linux. Let's find out what Symfonos is running on. The good thing about this machine is it tells us. As you can see, it says it's running on 192.168.38.3. So with that in mind, let's go back to Kali. If you know my deal here, I always ping my machines, even though I saw that it's up. Was I've attacked machines before and did all the stuff, and the machine wasn't even online. So now that I'm happy that it's responding to pings, I can then start with my Nmap. People probably have seen this 192.168.38.3. So I'm scanning my machine. I'm looking for service versions using default scripts. This is the normal scans that I do. And this is going to go through the top 1,000 ports. So this is not the in-depth scan in whatever form or shape. It's just a quick scan to find out what is running on our machine. And this Nmap scan here is what generates a bunch of my alerts in our Security Onion here. While it's running in the background, let me refresh here. So it says this one right here with 29. It says Nmap scan right here. So this is the alerts interface in our new Security Onion, and it shows us the count of the things that we are doing. And right now I'm scanning with Nmap. So I have an Nmap scripting engine that is detected right away. So Nmap is pretty much useless if you want to be stealth. You'll be caught if you're using Nmap in a production environment very quickly. So this actually can be an indicator. So if you're a pen tester, maybe you don't want to run your default Nmaps when you're in an engagement, because as you can see, out of the box, Security Onion is picking it up. If I refresh this number is going to be up higher than 29 in a minute once it indexes the events. Yeah, it's actually 58 now. And also here, potential Nmap user. I'll show you the rules that fired for this so that you can try maybe to avoid those rules. But if we go back, our Nmap is done and it was caught by Security Onion. So as as in the first one that we did last week, Symfonos is very vulnerable. And this time we see that we have SMB, we have port 80 open, we have 139, we have a bunch. Our attack surface this time is a little bigger. We also have FTP, which I really like to work with FTP and when I'm capturing the data, because Security Onion is going to see any data that I download and upload using FTP as plain text, since it's not encrypted. And we've port 22, so this is good. Let's check port 80 while we're still here. Let's find Firefox. Nice. Yeah, Matthew, I think I'm going to try Parrot soon. In the next few months, after my CAH exam, I'm going to actually go with Parrot. Was I really want to try Parrot. 192.168.38.3. And as always, yours truly cannot type. Okay, so it's the same deal. It's the same site, Symfonos. Last time we saw when we did Symfonos 1, this is just useless. We saved this image. I'm assuming it's the same image. So we have nothing here. But what you normally do is you want to maybe save this, search for any hidden messages here using stag hide or strings or something like that. But this time they're just not giving us any more information, which makes me not really happy. So because of that, let's fire up our friend enum. Can I do that? Okay. So enum for Linux, or enum for Linux, whatever you want to call it, we're going to go and really enumerate our target further. This is going to be an all comprehensive enumeration. And the reason why I'm running this is because I'm automating everything so that I make as much noise as I can, so that Security Onion at least give it a chance to pick all these random scripted attacks. So Security Onion should be, I'm curious, Security Onion should be triggered by right now, because I'm running all these tools that are known to men. So while enum for Linux is running, let's check here. How much noise have we caused? I'm just looking at the one alert interface here to see. Let's change our time here. Instead of 24 hours, let's put it to 24 minutes. This way, we really see what we are working with right now. All right. So it's a bunch of scans that it just picked up, which is exactly what we did in the last 24 minutes. So this is good. And as you can see, it already seen that we are enumerating some shares here. All right. All right, so enum for Linux finished. We just scanned our target. It finds a lot of information. Let's look at what we found. We find a lot of users. If there are shares, it finds them. So you need to spend some time here. As you can see, we see that we have a share with anonymous. So yeah, that's interesting. We did this last time too. So if you're brand new here and if you haven't subscribed, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. I do this every week and this is super fun. So if you haven't, please subscribe. So we have a share, and did we find some users? I'm going to sign into that share, but let's see if I found some users here. I scrolled too quickly. So if this was a Windows machine, we'll be seeing a bunch of like SMBs and stuff like that. So we found 2 users with Ulyss and Kronos. All right, so we will then note that we found 2 users. We have an SMB with anonymous sign-in. So let's go ahead and just sign in our SMB and then make sure that everything is working here. Let's see, did I miss something? Can you run a derb and see the traffic? Oh yeah, you want to see a derb in the traffic? That's a request. Let's do that actually. Before I do my SMB, I'll show you what derb does. I'm pretty sure it will catch it. But before we run our derb though, let's look at the state in Security Onion, right? Next time I'm going to change my network to a 10.10.10. something so I don't type too much. All right, so first let's refresh here. In the last 24 minutes, this is what it looks like, 29 something something. Now let's fire up derb. It takes about a minute for security onion to index, then show the events, but this is not helpful. This was very quick. This would have generated maybe 2. Let's see if we can fire up our friend GoBuster instead. Let's fire up GoBuster. Derb only found one because the site is just too small. Okay. I don't want to deal with GoBuster. I know there's nothing there, but let's look and see if derb was caught here. We were busting a bunch of directories. Did it show on port 80 at least? Yeah, that was just a quick scan. I'm not seeing it here. Maybe after a little bit it will index that little scan that we did. But if you fire GoBuster, maybe. There isn't much to bust there anyway. All right, so we found some users using Enum for Linux. We also found that we can sign in as anonymous using our SMB. So let's open a new tab and do that to make sure that everything is working. Yes, someone said if it caught FTP brute force, it will catch GearBuster. Yeah, it will definitely catch GearBuster for sure. Yeah, we can try that at the end when everything is done here, if people want to see that. But I'm pretty sure it will catch it. I'm not too worried about it not catching it at all. It will definitely catch it. All right, so let's go and sign in SMB client, and we are going to sign in our machine using anonymous. So it's 192. And whatever we do here with SMB and FTP, we should be able to see as well, like what we caught. .38.3 anonymous. Let's enter. All right, so we're in. If we do it there, so this is a spoiler alert. You will not see these 2 files. I forgot to remove them when I was testing this machine. You see backups. So let's go as if you just saw backups. I'll show you how to get those 2 files later. Then we'll do it there. As you can see here, we have log.txt. And with SMB, what we can do is we can say get log.txt. All right, so if we exit here, let's say clear, so ls, we have our log.txt here. Let's log.txt. I'm not heading it because it's a big file. So here's our log.txt file. So we have a log.txt here, and right away we see that part of the logs is showing me that someone was carrying etc shadow to var backup shadow.bex. So this is a file. This is exciting because anything that has to do with passwords is exciting for me. And we know that now we have a shadow.beck, var shadow.beck on our target, on our victim machine, because this is someone's logs here. And if you keep looking, you will also notice a few things. So I'm just doing a quick scan here. You can write a quick parser to look for important things like user files, passwords. You can search for them. But if we just keep looking here, every time I see something like passwords, it's exciting. Nothing really. There's nothing in there. I'm just doing a quick scan here to make sure that everything looks good and there isn't any interesting information. All right, here's another one. Here's a path in our FTP. It's home ulis share. So that is interesting. We know that we have a shadow file that is on our location. We also have ulis has a share location. When we sign in SMB, is when we sign in into our system. And look, let's go back up here for a little bit and make sure that we didn't miss anything. All right, so that's the end of the file. Let's quit. We got some really interesting information in those locations, right? So now there's two things that we can do. We also found from our nmap that we have port 22. We have a user ULIS. Last time I showed you guys in one of our live streams, I think I did it here, and I showed you this nmap brute force. So I was like, why don't we brute force using nmap directly on our port SSH, because we have a user, and I also wanted to generate a bunch of noise. Don't brute force all the time. It's not advisable. But I brute forced it using nmap. I found the username and I found the password for ULIS. You can also brute force the FTP using all kinds of other tools that you can brute force, but nmap is one of them. You can use John for all you want. But you can, since we have the share password, you can also go and find the user information. So there's two ways we can go about getting root on our machine here. And depending on which one we choose, it can go either way. But I can show you, here is Hydra brute forcing our machine. We use the user ULIS, and we say the password we want it to run using just roq.txt. This is just you're hoping to get lucky. And again, this, I don't think in the real world this works. This word list here will be a word list that you would have generated using Serial, SEWL, on a site. So say if you are on a client, you generate a word list using their website, the common words that they have, using the employees. You know, you have to be creative other than roq.txt. We're extremely lucky because this is a capture the flag, and we brute forced FTP. And as you can see, this took a long time actually. We did find a user ULIS and the password Sergio Tiamo, and I'm glad that I ran this earlier because this took a really long time. But we're wondering, we were brute forcing FTP. What traffic did we generate? I want to see, right? We brute forced FTP for a long time using Hydra, using a common word list. What did this look like in our security onion? Did we make a lot of noise? Let me change this to the last 24 hours because this traffic was caught in here. And this is it. I think it was this one. 5,000, this count right here. But let's take this further. I'm not happy with what this looks like, right? Let's go to Kibana. We want to find out, really, what did we do? How much traffic did we generate when we were attacking that specific port? And I want to look at the port specific, right? For port 21 for FTP. I want to see how much traffic did we generate and did we catch this particular attack right here, where we were brute forcing our machine, and lucky for us the machine wasn't locking us out. So all right, so here we go. We have some alerts going on here. This is the homepage, Security Onion homepage. Let me filter it by the alert. Let's see. I'm just trying to see if I can see that port 21. And during that time, let's also look at, it was caught by Suricata, I think. It said Suricata. Yeah, Suricata is an intrusion detection system as well. And so let's go and see if we can find some Suricata specific logs. So right now, this is us doing that. Let's do that. All right. Here's the alert. Destination port 22. I did brute force that port. But that was SSH. I did brute force SSH as well. Let's look at that. That will give us similar results. This is us just trying to figure out how did we discover this. This is sorted by count, I think. So 22 generated the most here. Let's go see. Not that. All right, SSH. Now let's look here. What did we do on port on SSH? Because I did brute force that one as well. So destination IP address is the same, and this is our machine. As you can see, the source port is random. So this shows that it was a potential brute force. So let's look. What we're looking at here, this is a Zeek one. So this was caught by Zeek log, which is interesting. And it's classified as a network. All right, Zeek SSH. All right. So somehow my FTP didn't show up, but my SSH did, which is interesting. That is very, very interesting for what we're finding out. So you and I were just finding out about this together. I didn't spend time doing the analysis for this. So you and I were just finding out together what type of traffic was generated here. And here we're sorting by severity. I think we should sort by count and see what we have. All right. So here is this brute force here. Let's see if I can escalate this event. And during the escalation process, it will go to the hive. Let's see. So it's being escalated to the hive. I'll check this one later when we're done with the attack. I don't want to derail us from our attack, but we did a brute force here using Hydra. So that's one way of getting root here. There is another, getting the username. There is another way, going after those files that I showed you in our FTP location. Let's just go back there. Yeah, it's right here. There's another one where we can go after our files here, and I'll show you. So if you do a dir, we can copy this backup file. I'm not going to show you because I don't want to spend too much time, but all you can do is literally just find these files on our share location, then copy them. Then once you copy them, let's exit. Once you copy them, you can get the files. And once you get the files, you can say cat pass. Then you'll be able to get the user hash. Then you can use John or other tools and brute force this. It will give you the same password. That's two ways to do that. The reason why I did the brute force one is because I really wanted to see how much noise this is going to generate for my security onion, because we're just tinkering around that way. So this is what we did. We have a user, Ulyss, and this password here. Let me copy it so I don't type it at all. So now let's just SSH. SSH. Because I did SSH. Here's my Hydra SSH that I was doing. So that's what generated those logs that I was showing you that showed that SSH was brute forcing. This is me brute forcing with Hydra. Don't brute force SSH. Do yourself a favor. Unless if you're doing what I'm doing here, in a real engagement or in client environments, you see a bunch of SSH ports open, just don't brute force them. Find other clever ways to get in. You'll be caught in 2 seconds and that'll just be bad. This is sort of like us rookies here hanging out doing stuff. So let's go ahead and SSH to as our user. I think I'm dyslexic because I can't type this. My brain just shuts down as I type it. 68.38.3. I hope I typed it right. I think it's because they have these in sequential order. It messes with my brain. Okay, now let's go ahead and paste that password. I hope we can copy and paste. and we should be able to get in, no problem here. So now let's paste. Permission denied, really? Yeah, I guess I have to type it in. Gio ti amo. Really? This is a game that we're playing now? Did I even type it right? SSH AEO. Of course I didn't type it right. I knew it. I knew it. This was going to get me. I wasn't lying when I told you that this messes with me. AEOU. No, there's no U. Okay, if I stop talking, then I can actually think about it. All right, so let's go. Now I should be able to get in there. When I was practicing this, I knew I was like, this is going to get me because I can't talk and do that. Someone says, yep, you are. Yes, I know. All right, so now that I'm in, this is the share file that we were talking about last time. I'm just curious. Let's go to the share. You know, this is what you do when you get into machines, right? What do I have here? Here are all those files that we were seeing through our SMB share. So there isn't really much here. If we go to the backups, you'll see the same stuff. My favorite one is I like to do sudo -l. Let's paste it. I think I still have it on there. So I don't have it. This will be monitored if I was monitoring here, if I had a OSEC, host-based intrusion detection. Usually it logs this part. So since I cannot do that, let's do something interesting, right? We don't need this anymore. Sudo -l. No. Sudo su. Let's go and become root. And I want to show you another tool that I'm going to use here to make my life easier for enumeration. If I do an ls here, I have enum enum.shell, and if I do a cat enum.shell, this is an automated tool that you can just use to enumerate your target. So you get a normal user who doesn't have much permissions. This will just automate a lot of things for you. So in order for me to do that, I'm just going to host my Python simple HTTP server here and use wget on the other side. And I'll show you what that entails. From here, I'm just showing you also my notes. This is a quick way. I have a file transfer folder here, and here's my Python simple HTTP. So if I was going after a Windows machine, I'll be using either one of these. And this is just a simple way for me to not think and just automate things. I don't need to memorize this command here, even though it's a simple one. Then once I come here, I'm hosting simple HTTP server here. Let's go here and do a wget. Where's my cd such tmp. I'll go to my temp folder because I can write there. Wget HTTP. My curly is 192.168.38.10, and that one is called len enum.sh. So because of that Python, I now have it here. If I do an ls, as you can see, I now have a len enum1.sh1 because I already had it here. But what you want to do is you want to do hmod +x, give it executable permission .1. Let me just do the 1.1. All right, so now that we have that, we can now call it. Let's just run the one on top. And this is going to enumerate our victim machine, find a bunch of things. This is really automated. I encourage you to spend more time doing it manually than doing it this way. But what I'm more interested in are interesting locations. And as you can see, it found those files again. If I didn't know about their existence, this will be an interesting find. already, but I already know about them. You need to go through all these, look for any interesting configuration files that you might want to go and check out. Keep scrolling, and you can see the locations here, just in case they've been changed or if there was something interesting. There's a lot of noise here, and the more you use this tool, the more you quickly can go through this, because you can zero in on the most important things. But for me, I'm going to cheat and take you where we have the juicy stuff, because we know that there's nothing interesting there. Here's the good stuff, right? For TCP, even you also want to check UDP, but for TCP, we have port 8080. Well, our Nmap didn't catch this, so we didn't see port 8080 here. This is a host specific one, and this is what I said, this is interesting for people who are going for the OSCP, because I think they talk about this particular type of strategy here, where you have ports that are not open to the public, but they are here. Then this is where we need to do what we call SSH tunneling, and this is a simple thing. Don't even overthink it. SSH tunneling, or port tunneling in general, I'm calling it SSH tunneling, is most of the time I tunnel using SSH. Port tunneling in most of the time involves this port here is open and it's listening on localhost 127.0.0.1, but we don't have access to it from my Kali. We have access, however, using port 22. That's why I call it it's called SSH tunneling. We also have port 25 here, which is listening on localhost. So that's, and this MySQL port here. But we're interested in this one. What is running there? Because 8080 is usually we see web stuff there. We can even abuse this one later if we want, but how then do we get to this port and find out what is running on it? And I'm curious if Security Onion will catch a tunnel. I don't know if it does. Someone let me know. Does it actually encrypt? This is a good thing. We're going to tunnel to this port here from my Kali Linux. Security Onion, is it going to catch it? I'm not sure. I haven't looked at that, but it's something that I would be interested in going and digging through to see what tunneled traffic looks like. All right, so now that we know that there's a port open here, here is what you do. Let's cancel this because we already transferred our files. Yes, somebody says it's next to sliced bread. You know, actually, a lot of people use tunneling even in the day-to-day. I use it every day for stuff at work, for really good testing stuff. SSH tunneling, you better spend some time on SSH tunneling if you haven't. Somebody says it won't detect it. It's in a tunnel, so Security Onion will not even see it. Interesting. So maybe we should tunnel most of our traffic. All right, so so to make sure that we get to things, let me move this around. Man, yeah, I was curious about that, you know, and this is the best thing about labbing, like what we're doing right now, is that we are creating a lab and we can tinker around and really understand how this traffic is analyzed, and we can see how it actually works. So let me show you. I think I have it in here. If I do an 8080. So here is the tunnel that I created. Me, because I'm too lazy, I didn't want to redo this again. But I can show you. Let me do this 73. Because I'm lazy and I don't even want to go through the process of typing. All right, so here's what we're doing. We're saying, hey, SSH, let's tunnel our traffic on local port 8080 on our local host through to our victim machine through SSH by using ULIS on 192.168.38.3. And there are two ways of tunneling, right? Right now we're having our machine listen on port 8080. So when we are tunneling this way, the way I'm doing it right now, we're going to be using local to that machine. There are two ways to do this, and I just want you to know that we are going the local route. And if you know one, the other one you can quickly figure it out. It was like a mind twist for me when I first learned tunneling using on Hack the Box. It's the Grandpa and Grandma machines, I think. something like that, where I was doing that. So this is the tunnel that I'm going to create here. And by creating this tunnel, my port 8080 is going to be forwarded to that victim machine as 8080 as well. So let's do that. And my password, crap. I need to remember that password. Where is it? Okay, let me see if I can find it somewhere. Otherwise, I might have to crack it again. What happened to my password? Let me see. Okay, I found my password here. So once we get in there through our tunnel, we should now be able to access that port 8080. And I think you should spend some time on the SSH tunneling. Let me find where I saved my password, because I believe it or not, I have no idea what it is. I tried to save my brain power for other things. It's Sergio Tiamo. Okay, let's copy and paste it. There we go. And when this tunnel is created, all right, wait a second. If that tunnel is created, I should be able now to go to my let's exit out of here. Let's exit and do it again. Clear the screen so you see what I'm doing, just in case you got lost. So I'm saying SSH local port that to 88 on that one. So Sergio Tiamo, that's the password. All right, so now we have, oh, thank you. All right, now let's go back and let's start our Firefox here. And now let's go to our machine, 192.168.38.3, but we want to go on port 8080. I haven't done this part, so we're in this together. Bing, ding, ding. Of course Howard is doing this. This is a mistake that happens all the time. I don't need to go to that IP address. I need to listen on localhost. I was just telling you that it's on localhost. So I need to listen on localhost here. I'm glad I made that mistake, because you got to see me do that. So I'm listening on localhost, but I'm connected to that machine. It's because my localhost port 8080 is being forwarded to that machine. And here we go. So now you know. Don't do what I do. Now we have a Libre NSM. That's interesting. I have no version anywhere. Let's view the page source to see if there is any version information, anything interesting. Nothing. Well, that's not exciting, right? Libre is notorious for that's open source tools, Libre. So I need to go and look it up. The reason why I'm leaving is because my machine doesn't have, my Kali doesn't have internet access. Exploit. There's a bunch. There's a bunch of them, and here's another one. Exploit DB. So there's a Metasploit module for that. Again, this is not the most elegant way of hacking. I'm telling you that right now. But hey, that's what we have. MSF console. So let's try it. And we can actually find a pure proof of concept for that. Why am I doing this? Is because I do not like to type. I want to see where somebody has shown me the commands that I ran for that. This is not it. Okay, I can just use this one. All right, let's go back and do that. Right? Yeah, there's a network management that we didn't know about. All right, so let's go back here. I'll just show you. So we're exploiting this tool here so that we have a Metasploit module for it. So let's not waste too much time, because now I just want to get root and have us check out our security onion. All right, so now let's go to our terminal. Sudo su. All right, so now let me see if I have my cheat sheet here for this part, at least, to make sure that I can quickly get us out of here. All right, so we are actually MSF console. MSF console, let's start our Metasploit. We are just going to use that exploit and get root. So this is not the most elegant way. If you're bored by this, just rest in there to know that we actually have some exciting data here that we can look at. And to be honest with you, I haven't spent too much time here, but let's check the file location while my Metasploit is logging. So we're using Straka or Strelka as our file analyzer. So Straka should have picked, here's the module that I'm talking about for Straka, for files. And as you can see here, here's the log.txt file. We accessed this file. So Straka was able to do that. I accessed these two files as well. So we can tell through Security Onion which files we have interacted with and who was doing that. And this was in plain text from this machine to this machine. This was actually Zik. We should be able to tell which files we interacted with during our engagement here. So if I was curious about what somebody has done, this is what I would actually look at to make sure that you can have a full incident. So if you're investigating in an event and you figure out that there was somebody who was doing a bunch of scans, you'll also be able to tell that they accessed the backup location and interacted with this file. So that's part of that security onion here. And now with our MSF console on, let's go ahead and attack the Libre NSM, and we're going to use this exploit here, the one that I showed you when we were there. This is it. You know what? I could have done this even the easier way. You could have used sexploit, then you could have just used it that way, but that's okay. This is the exploit that we're using, but know that you can use sexploit on Kali, and you do this the more faster way. Here, let's do options. So once our local hosts, an interface may be specified. Okay. IPA, what is my interface? ETH0. So let's go ahead and set up our local. Let's go ahead and set up our stuff. I have too many tabs that are open now. Okay, set your host to ETH0. That should do it. And then output, we want that to be 8080. So keep in mind here. All right. So I set our username. Let's look at our options here. So we need set username. Here comes the name, guys. I have to check. AE. Oh, no, you. All right. It doesn't like my caps for set. Really? Let's set our username to that. Isn't that interesting? Okay, now that we have a username, let's set our password. And I think that is Sergio Tiamo. Yeah. Okay, so now we can run or exploit. If that exploit that we found online works, okay. Exploit failed. One or more options failed by our host. Okay, we failed to set our host here. This is the one that we set to local host. Because our port tunneling, our tunnel should still be there. I hope I didn't kill my tunnel. Now if I do a run, this is going to run through my tunnel, and we should be able to get there. So let's give it a minute, and we should get there. Yes, somebody says it looks like Zabbix. Yes, I've actually tested Libre NSM. When I was testing Zabbix, Greylog, and those tools, we're just trying to see if they work. So let's see what happened here. Failed to access the login page. No session created. Okay, let's make sure that our tunnel is working, to make sure that everything is good here. I might have killed it. All right. Why is it failing? Let's see. Interesting. Let's type up again. Okay, so now that it's working, let's go here. This should work. Let's try it again. And if this works, it should give us a shell. Again, Metasploit traffic, it doesn't get picked up out of the box. I think I read somewhere that it's encrypted. Someone let me know in the comments if that's not true. Really? Did I make a mistake in my options here? Oh, no. We don't want to point directly. We're tunneling here. The address, okay, now I'm just getting looped into my exploit here. Let's exit out of this one. Let's clear this and start again. I got my ports mixed up here. But yeah, I think this traffic from Metasploit is not picked up by Security Onion. I don't think it does. It's intentionally meant to hide against these detection engines. I guess I should have generated a bunch of traffic. All right, let's do it again. This time I'm just going to go through this because I've already shown you what I'm doing. Let's paste that. Using that exploit. We're going to Set our remote host to that. We are going to set our, I think this is our port to 8080. Oh, our port 8080. You can see this from the options. Then I'm not going to type his username for sure, because we don't want to do that. We don't want to subject you guys to that. And then we also set up the password here. And our host. To ETH0. I showed you where I found that. Then we can do an exploit. Matthew said you need to always run exploit instead of run. So this should work because we have our tunnel and everything. And we are in. Thank you guys for sticking around with me. We are almost done. This is just the privilege escalation part, and we should be good here. Let me know in the comments if you are already setting up your security onion. So let's go to the sessions 1. Because we know that's the only session in there. Really? Do I have multiple sessions? I only have one. All right, there we go. So now we are getting into our machine. We were able to successfully exploit the machine using Metasploit. So that's what we have there. And now it should get us in there if this works properly. So let's give it a minute here. Yeah. So here's a pro tip from Matthew, guys. Always use your exploit instead of run. I haven't seen any big difference from both of those though. Is this done? Yeah, it is done. All right, so we have a limited shell here. Let's fix it. In my cheat sheet, I think I have in my reverse shells here. Yeah, this one. This is going to fix the shell if I don't mess with the indentation. Okay, it doesn't like that one. Let me try to copy from a different one. That's mostly because of the asterisk. Notepad++ doesn't do justice to this. Let's try it again. See, now it's different. There we go. So now we are in as Cronus, and we're in the HTML right here. So you should be able to run clear. No? Oh, environment variable is not set. What in the world? I don't like this. I want to set environment variables. I want to set environment variables, guys. And here is a quick way to fix that. I need to add this to my cheat sheet because this is almost like the third time I've done this. Stack Overflow is the answer. And it's this one liner. Where is it? This. So if this works, you would have learned something from me today. I exported it. Now I should be able to run whatever. Clear. Bam. So all right, we fixed our term. Sudo -l. This is what we do, guys. Every time we need to do this. All right. So now this time, at least Cronus can run commands as sudo. How can I escalate my privileges from this? And this is exactly what I do. You're watching me in real time here. I type that word and I paste whatever I get from there. And I get, I think there's a hacking articles here have a really nice they have a really nice article. Otherwise, I think this one will work. I should be able to see my SQL here. I think it's one of these. Yeah. Okay. I'll show you. I'll share with you the one that I have here. Look at the hacking articles for this, but you saw what I do there. I just go and look it up. But to escalate here, I just paste this right here. That's how you break into root from this vulnerability right here. You type sudo that. So if you see these are low-hanging fruits. Now I'm in ID. I'm root. Where am I? Get me cat. This is the most important part, right? Autocomplete doesn't work. All right, so we did it, guys. We did it. We were able to root Symfonos 2. So I hope you learned a thing or two from my stuff here. Now I just want to spend this time answering people's questions and also make sure that we can poke around this here. I'm giving us a little bit more time, but thank you for joining. We got root here and we logged everything that we were doing. Now here's Security Onion for you. And I'm also looking at the comments right now. Can you send people? Oh, what? Oh, can I send the pivot video? That is owned by the people who hosted the event. I don't have access to the video, but you can reach out to Bill. I think he'll be able to get to the video. What I can get you though is the PowerPoint presentation that I did, and the resources that I use. I can somehow share that with you, but I don't have the video. It's like 4 hours worth of video. All right, so here is our first. If you haven't worked with Security Onion before, it used to look different than this, but they made it into a graphical user interface, and this is what I set up. After all these things that we did, we generated a bunch of noise, and as you can see here, we caught things. What would be of interest to you though? If you were running this at your house, if you're running Security Onion at your house, you are not going to see this, and if you see this, you need to be worried. Unless if you're sniffing the interface from the internet. So this is only us generating this traffic. And the cool thing about this part is that they have this here where if I hover here, you can actually escalate these things, or you can just, I think this one, dismiss. So if I wanted to dismiss this one, I can just dismiss here. So as a security analyst, what you'll be doing is dismissing things. So let's look things that are worth dismissing. Log rotate, yeah, I can dismiss that. So this will dismiss it and get it out of here because you have acknowledged your alert. So this is the process of acknowledging alerts, as you see. But if you want to escalate the alerts, like this one is of course worth escalating, we can escalate it this way. So when you escalate alerts, they go here. I think they go to the Hive, and this is a really nice interface. And this email address here, you can send me an email. I use it for YouTube. And actually I monitor it. Let's see if we can sign in there. Oh no, it doesn't like it. If it doesn't like my password, I might have to. Really? I don't know what the password is here. I need to figure it out. I thought it's the same password as the one I get in here. So you go to the Hive. That's where you escalate your events. Then you can go to Security Onion, and in here I'm actually filtering events. And now I need to sign into the Hive and figure out what is going on here. This is what the alerts look like. Let's refresh this. You can tell that this is alerts over time. I generated a bunch of alerts right here when we were just hacking. The time here is a little off, so don't mind it. But this is where we generated a bunch of alerts from all the noise that we did. So if you're curious about when things were happening, nothing was really happening here. This is just system generated events, and bam, we are hacking, we generate a bunch of alerts. And here's the classification. We have a lot of high right now, so this is problematic. Something serious really was happening here. So we need to make sure that we don't do that. We don't have that in the real world. When do I plan to do the OSCP? I plan on doing it soon. My work is paying for me to attend the training from EC Council next month. So next month on the 19th to the 20-something, I'll be attending live classes for the CAH masterclass. So I'll take both the CAH written exam, then I'll take the CAH hands-on exam. And I'm excited about that because I'm curious. People say a lot of bad things about CAH. I'm going to see it in person. And then after that, I'll take the OSCP. So that's my plan. All right. So we can see that we only have two people who are talking. In a normal environment, this is not what we're going to see. You're going to see a bunch of IP addresses here. The ports that are mostly affected, right behind me, right here, mostly the destination ports, and here they are. As you can see, port 22 has more events. You most likely don't want port 22 to have a lot of events. What you can do here is then set up alerts. If you see more than 100 events in 10 minutes on port 22, set up an alert to anyone who works in security. Make sure you wake them up. It doesn't matter if it's 2 a.m. 100 events in a minute. Somebody's brute forcing on a local area network. That's problematic. Can it detect web application scanning traffic? Yes, it does. Derb will definitely... actually, we have port 80 right here. Let's filter by this. So the filter by just web, let's filter by 80. Now everything that is this dashboard is going to show is going to be port 80. If we go up here, that's the filter. Let's refresh. So here is everything that was done to port 80 for web traffic. Isn't that kind of cool that we can just click a button and we can filter? So here's a web application attack, exactly like you asked for. And we can actually look at them. Here is individual events. And who caught these? Potentially bad traffic 7, but this is a brute force right here, 118. So this will pivot to a different interface and show you what we have here. Let's see. So here's what we did to the web when we were trying to brute force. This might even catch some of the Nmap scans here. So we really need, let's pick a random one. It might be an Nmap one. So some of these might be from Nmap enumerating our traffic. This was Suricata. So props to Suricata. And here's what we caught. Nmap scripting engine. Yep, this was an Nmap scan that was detected by Suricata. So Suricata is doing really great. I'm using the emerging threats rule sets. Even if it's port 443, it should still see the actual attack itself. So even if it's port 443, the scanning process will still be seen because you are scanning. All right, guys, this is awesome. I think this is really fun. I find a lot of joy just spinning a machine, doing the CTF part of that, then finishing it up with looking at the noise that I generated. I think this is like the most interesting stuff like that. So this stuff that you're asking here, like XSS, is on my list. I'm going to deploy the damn vulnerable web app machine and capture the traffic for the different scenarios for that machine and see what it looks like. I'm learning this, so I'm actually very curious. What happens when I go to the damn vulnerable web app machine and start doing all those kind of attacks? And for me, it's not mostly the attacking process, but also how much noise do I generate when I'm doing it in a careless way? And then, of course, that informs me as a defender and it also informs me as a pen tester. Either way you look at it, it's a big win. So this was an Nmap scan that we did, and here's the rule that that was created, and especially this part here where it says flow to server established like that. I think Is this the count? Someone tell me. This must be the count, 20 for Nmap. So we need to be able to get to a point where we create our own rules, but yeah. So we filtered all the port 80 attacks. That's what we did to port 80 here. And let's look at our Grafana. Isn't this awesome? I'm going to create more graphs here. I want this to be more usable for me. But this shows me the health of my security onion right now, which I think is really good because there's no guesswork when this thing is not working or not. CPU is doing really great. I gave it 4 CPUs. For disk, it's not bad. Security onion disk, that's really good. One thing that is really interesting for me is the pickup retention. I have 6 days worth of pickup on my security onion right now. And by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, here's a pickup interface. Let's request a pickup. We can request pickups here. Sensor ID. My sensor ID name is security onion. So let's request a pickup. Isn't this awesome? I have 6 days worth of pickup here, so I should be able to just come in here and say my sensor ID is that. Source IP 192.168.38. I want everything from my Kali Linux. Source port. I want something specific so I don't waste too much time. Let's look at the source port here. 60560. Let's use that. 60560. I hope it's not too bad. 192.168. I want to go to 38.3. Destination port, let's put 80. I think that's what we had here. Yeah, let's put 80. Filter begin. This is the date, and this is the format here. And then we can do that again. Let's see. Let's grab a specific event here, so we can get pickup for this one right here. Again, you can see right here, we can also create a case in the Hive using this one. But let's pick a specific date. This is the ingest time. I can play around with this time. Let's copy that. And it looks like the time is the same time, right? Okay. So here is the time 10. Let me put this to 10:26. 24, and then let's do it to 28. Now I can say add job, and voila, I'm requesting my pickup. It's in the process, and here's the status of my pickup. This way, if somebody says, "Oh, I really want to look at pickup events for that," and they don't want to use these nice tools that we have here, and they're a Wireshark person, we can then, once this pickup is done, send them a pickup and say, here you go. You can analyze it and see what's going on. So this is really, really great stuff. Now I need to wait for this to be complete and see what this pickup looks like. And I hope I actually requested, I didn't request too large of a, okay, no data available in the requested dates. That's the problem. That's a problem. I didn't do it right. Can I edit that? Can I? All right, let's do it again. All right, I'll do it later. I don't want to fill this again. I'll put a valid date time here, and it's also from my here I have 6 days worth of pickup, so I should have pickup for everything that I captured today, which is really, really great. My machine is not busy, so that's why I have 6 days there. And I can tell you that it's not busy because if you look at the monitor traffic here, right now, this is what it is going through. Very little traffic because I'm not sending any traffic on it. It's actually just listening on a closed network. I'm going to deploy Security Onion to our lab that we are setting up. Actually, I did deploy Security Onion to our lab that we're setting up. It's it's working. I'm just finishing up some little quirks, otherwise it's going to be working for us. So if you're following our lab setup in VMware, expect to have a video where I'll show you what we can do to listen to all the traffic in our lab and actually put it, so this is sort of like a production worthy deployment that we're doing in that lab. So we use the production version of this, and we will actually see, let it run whenever, however long in your lab, and to actually analyze normal traffic other than this traffic that we generated. So if you're following our lab setup, I'm setting it up in our VMware ESXi. I have to tell you though, Security Onion and VMware, somehow they don't work very well. It didn't even work on my iMac in VMware Fusion. I don't know why, but in VMware ESXi it's working well. In VirtualBox, perfect, straightforward, you can install it. So that's what we had today, guys. Thank you for joining me, and we do this every Sunday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time as always. And if you haven't by now, please subscribe. Let's get those numbers up. It tells the YouTube algorithm that I'm producing content that's worth watching, and this suggests it to other people. So if you haven't, please consider liking and subscribing. I'm just going to wait a couple more minutes. If you have any questions, please post them for me. Otherwise, during these 2 minutes, I'm going to try to see if I can show you the other things. Fleet. Oh, this is really, really good stuff, guys. Let's sign in. Fleet, if you have multiple sensors, you'll actually be able to list them here. I think this is awesome. So in our Security Onion lab, on our ESXi, we're going to have multiple nodes where we would have different networks within ESXi. So we have multiple in here. So that's for our lab setup process. Let's look at playbook. This is just the playbooks that we are playing. You can create your own here. This is amazing. You can also import some, I think, and you can edit the ones that we have here. Let's go to CyberChef, and this is just so you can decode your stuff in real time if you don't have any internet. It's of not much of value other than that. The Hive. You might be curious. The Hive. What's up with the Hive? Come on. There is the Hive. And here is the events that I was escalating. So this is where you can come in, and now you are inputting more information about what you're doing, right? And here is an event that it was escalated, and you said we called it downloaded file. I was saying, okay, this is assigned to me as the analyst. Now this is now a security analyst type of world, and I will tell you I don't spend more time there, but here's an event that we have with everything that you need, and you can create some tasks here on what else needs to be done. You can group things. This is the Hive, and you can even have a nice dashboard with your events as they look like. Okay, someone says, speaking of setup video, number 3 is missing. I don't see it. I've started set up my lab video. Oh, number 3? I'm not sure. I might have misnumbered things. I don't know. I don't think so. Let me see. Let's go to YouTube. I'm viewing as you, as incognito. Okay, somebody said it's there. All right, so there they are, the videos. Quick. Number 3. This is the pfSense one. All right, so this is the Hive. This is the security analyst interface. Someone is asking, what is it? It's where, if you want to triage events, this is where you come and put notes about the events that we found and things like that. All right, so thank you guys. I can hear my kid is just waking up. I don't know what's going on. So I think this is a nice place for me to end it. I will see you guys next week. Let me know if you have any questions, subscribe and like my videos. Otherwise, thanks for joining me.